And then what's going to be over here, I guess I can... That's what I hear.
It's filled with bird toys and bird.
Please.
Hello? Hello? Is it working? Hi, everyone. There's some things are not working, but I think the things we have to have are working. Hi, how are y'all doing? Nick Gamer, Extreme Up, Big Boss, Mr. Yeast, Rudy, how are you doing, guys? My usual thing that keeps stuff closer is not working, but I got other things working. How are things? Does it sound okay? I don't have a weird voice, do I? I've been playing around with this one app that has like a weird voice thing. Hey, Steve, my friend from down under. How are you doing today? How is everyone? Sounds good. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've been playing with this one thing that makes fun voices, or funny voices at least. How are y'all been? Okay, good. Let me see here. Let me just check in on y'all and see how you're doing. Get closer. Hello. It's so good to see you. How have you been? Oh my goodness. Synonymous, come here, you. Just check in a little bit there. Yes. Let's check on this side. I'll go down a little bit. Alright, now look down. Okay. Very good. Oh, Yumi, it's so good to see you. How are you doing? I know, right? It's been too long. You guys been? Well, hello, Morgan. Welcome back. Can I see you, Anonymous? Like, almost. Big Boss, how are you doing? It's so good to see you. It's been a good month for you. I haven't gotten any pumpkins myself, but I've been wanting to go to the pumpkin patch. Kurt, how have you been? Welcome. It's so good to see you guys. That one popped so quickly. All those little pops. I've got all this bubble wrap I've been saving. I need to use it. It's my PAX bag. This PAX. It was fun. Yumi. This is like oh gosh. I didn't go. I went to the last PAX South. That was like back right when COVID happened. I didn't go to the ones that happened this year. They're too far away from me. I wish. No, PAX South was the one that was close enough to me. But I've been thinking maybe like a TwitchCon or something at some point. I've got a group of streamer friends I could like go with, but we would need to like be able to coordinate all together. But we all like have our own lives and stuff. There will be a year though. There will. I get in trouble. Does it hurt your ears? Just a few more of this one. It's really satisfying for me to pop. Oh, can I do a couple? Those feel like they're too loud. There's so many of them. This bubble wrap. Oh, will it make me see through? No. Let's do another little one. And I want to try. Listening back to this. Lots it is. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Steve. I like that. Those are some of my favorite too. It's like an earthquake. Oh my goodness. Silver, it's so good to see you. I know it's been so long. Oh. listen back and I video myself listening back to the audio and uploading it and stuff on YouTube, reviewing it, and I give my opinions and stuff. So if you're interested in that, those are on YouTube for members. Yay! How have you been, Silver? What's going on with you? Nick Gamer, I don't know if I said hi to you yet. Welcome. This is just for my own personal satisfaction. Ring out the bubbles. That's good. That was good. Rich. Very rich. Y'all hear that? The clicks are so satisfying for me. Ooh, hanging on for 2 years now, waiting on a transplant. I have a colleague who her husband was on a lung transplant list for many years, and pre-COVID, they finally, let's say I worked with her for 8 years, I think, and pre-COVID, she was on that list, and then they got the surgery, and then COVID hit, and she had to stop working because, you know, it was high risk. Her husband having a lung transplant, she didn't want to risk, you know, getting him sick. So even when you do get your transplant, like, it's a lifelong commitment to staying alive. And I hope everything works out for you, Silver Phoenix. That'd be really good, right? I don't need to go anywhere. My favorite tappy can. tippy tappies. So relaxing. So it feels so relaxing after tippy tappies. And Hulda, how are you doing today? Welcome. Hi, Peter. Welcome. Good to see you. I do. Where is it though? I thought I did. I know I do somewhere. Hold on. Hold on a sec. This is fuzzier than a scarf. Oh, so soft. So soft. So soft, guys. So incredibly soft. So good. It's so soft. Fuzzy. Pussy. Should just put this on you. This is so good, guys. And then more. Oh, this will be really nice. I always like this one. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It really is like really nice. Oh, hey, Brooke. How you doing today? Welcome. I don't know if I said hi yet. Hello. Like I could just wear it like a mascot, maybe. What do you guys think? Surely there's a cuter knot I could come up with. For Halloween, I think I'm gonna be a witch, but I can't find my witch's hat. I have one, but I don't know where it is. What are you guys gonna be for Halloween? What do y'all do? Last few, I mean, I've streamed a lot of Halloweens, like a game. I got Hello Neighbor because it's supposed to be startling, and I feel like it will scare me. But I still haven't played it. I got that game just to play in October. I still haven't played it yet. Ooh, that'll be awesome. That'd be a good one. Definitely do. Nice. Reconnection. I don't know why I had an E in there. How are you doing today? Welcome. It's so good to see you. How have you been? I feel like it's been a long time. It has been. It has. It's my fault. I'm the only one to blame there. You already ate all the see, that's I don't buy candy until like the week before because I'll eat it. I like chocolate and caramel and peanut butter and the combinations of those things put together. Tasty. Oh, it feels so good. It's like a good stretch. Feels good, actually, Yumi. Especially right here. When I first did it, I'm like, I'm literally just stretching for my own enjoyment. I could have had that and had drunk more loudly. A missed opportunity. To be obnoxiously loud when drinking. No, Rudy, I can really... Alright, let's try it. Because I can really make a gulp sound if I try. And it's more satisfying. Have you ever had a beverage and like had to be quiet and dainty. I don't know. Do you guys mentally think about that? I'm just assuming you're guys. Surely you're girls too out there. Boys and girls though in general. Like there are definitely opportunities. I'm out in the real world and I'm like, I need to be quiet while drinking. And do so silently. You know? Like I'm in a meeting. I don't want to be loud. I have a meeting. You guys have meetings. Desire to be dainty. How about a desire to not be obnoxious while your boss is talking and you're standing off to the side taking a drink? Very cutesy, very demure. Yes. But there is something that's just so much more satisfying about taking a gulp when drinking, specifically like sparkling water or like a Dr. Pepper or like a Coca-Cola. When you're eating, like you're having a cheeseburger with French fries and you got your soda pop. I don't know. Sometimes I'm more of a shake person. I'll go for a shake. But yeah, and like my throat can be pronounced. Can y'all hear that? Let me try it again. That's just my throat. Without drinking. I can't do it anymore. The pressure's on. Making obnoxious drinking sounds into ASMR. That was pretty good, right? It was good. I can like I probably have my cat ears down there too. I've missed y'all so much. Hopefully we'll get to stream more often because that's what we prefer. But until next time, guys, this will be good night. So good night, good night, good night. Thank you so much for stopping by and seeing me, and it's so good to see you guys, and I hope to see you more often. Good night, good night, good night, good night. Good night. Good night, good night, good night. Good night, good night, good night, good night. I'll see you next time. Good night, good night, good night. Tiki, tiki.
Hey there. Thanks so much for sticking around to the end of the stream. If you haven't already, be sure to check me out on the social media sites of your choice. Till next time, keep relaxing.